Hi guys, I hope you're well and welcome to episode 71 of the James Layton Fitness Podcast. Now in today's episode we're going to be discussing training to failure. Now I've actually discussed this before within another podcast, however I think it's such an important topic that I think it's worth revisiting. The reason why is I see so few people actually do this correctly, and this really will make a significant difference to your progress, and especially in terms of your strength gains in the gym. So what am I discussing when I mean training to failure? So training to failure basically means you cannot get any more repetitions within a given set for a particular exercise. Now, you may be under the impression that you need to be training to failure all the time, that every single set you need to be training to absolute failure when you can't do any more reps, or even having a spot to help you with reps at the end of your set to do force reps, etc. And I think this culture comes from that kind of hardcore mentality where people believe that if I just work harder than everyone else, I'm going to get the best strength gains, I'm going to have the best physique, etc. But the reality is we actually need to work smart and hard simultaneously. Both are important, and I'm going to discuss the reasons why. If you're training to failure too frequently, especially with your big compound exercises, this can actually impede your strength gains and impede our bigger picture goals. So let's firstly take a step back and look at our hierarchy of importance, our main focus with regards to weight training, with regards to building muscle and maintaining muscle within the fat loss phase. And that key critical factor is trying to increase volume over time. So volume is sets times reps times load, and it's one of the biggest determining factors for influencing muscle growth. As such, this is our main focus. So by going to failure on every single set for your compound exercise, so a compound exercise is basically a multi-joint exercise where multiple muscle groups are working simultaneously within a given lift. So good examples would be a bench press, an overhead press, a squat, a deadlift, heavy rowing movements, and variations of these lifts. These are all compound exercises. So let's explain this with an example. Let's just say you're doing bench press and you're doing 100 kilograms. And let's say you take that first set to absolute failure. You cannot get any more repetitions with that given weight. So let's just say, for example, you get 9 repetitions. And we'll say we're doing 3 sets just for argument's sake. The second set, because you went to absolute failure on that first set, you're not going to get as many repetitions. So let's just say you get 6 reps on this set and you go to absolute failure again. Now the final set, you're going to go to failure once again. You're going to get less reps once again, and you're going to get 5 repetitions. This is just an example. So in total we have 20 repetitions. So remember, sets times reps times load would equate to the total amount of poundage we've lifted within those 3 sets. Again, that is what we're striving to improve. However, if you were to do the same weight again, 100 kilograms, however this time, instead of going to absolute failure on that first set, you're going to hold back a rep. You're not going to go to absolute failure. And let's just say you get 8 repetitions. We've got 9 on the first one. On the first set of the sets, we're going to absolute failure, but this time we didn't go to failure on this first set. We've got 8 reps. We're going to do the same for the second set. We're not going to go to absolute failure. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we get 7 reps with this second set. However, on this last set, we're going to go to absolute failure. Now, because we didn't go to absolute failure on the first set and the second set, we're going to have quite a bit left in the tank here. And let's just say, for argument's sake, we get 7 repetitions. Now, in total, we actually got 22 repetitions doing just focusing on going to failure on the last set of the compound lift compared to the first example. We've got 20 reps. That's quite a big difference in volume. Now I know this is just an example. I was actually relatively conservative with those numbers. It could have even been 23 total repetitions versus 20. So hopefully you can see the power of this and try not to think about your ego first. Are you going to absolute failure? Let's be intelligent about this and think volume is what we're trying to improve upon. So by holding back into our last set for a big compound lift, we're going to allow for volume to be higher throughout all of the sets. Now it's important to consider the difference between a compound exercise and isolation exercise. When we go to absolute failure on, say, a bench press, it's very draining on the body compared to, say, going to failure on a bicep curl. As such, with your isolation, single joint exercises like bicep curls, lateral raises, tricep pushdowns, and things of that nature, feel free to go to absolute failure on all of your sets. But it's the big compound exercise that we need to hold back a rep or two shy of failure until that final set. So here's some practical applications. As I said, compound lift, squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, heavy rowing movements, and variations of these. Just take that last set to failure. The preceding sets, focus on 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, and then just take that last set to absolute failure, and then your isolation work, bicep curls, lateral raises, tricep pushdowns, take all of those sets to failure. And one thing you'll notice when you start applying this, with your big compound lifts, you'll start to make progress more consistently over time. And as such, you're going to accumulate more volume in the session. It's going to be easier to increase volume over time, which is one of the biggest determining factors for muscle growth, and it's also something we're trying to maintain as much as we can within the fat loss phase. Obviously, by default, volume will be slightly less within a fat loss phase, and we're really trying to maintain strength and volume as much as we can, but still, by using some of these principles, we can better maintain strength and volume within a fat loss phase as well. So hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully you can start applying this, and like I said, when I started applying this personally, maybe around 3 years ago, it made a tremendous difference to my performance in the gym. So hopefully this has been useful. If you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up Your Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, LAYTON, Fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page, and you can download that immediately. I'll look forward to speaking to you next week. Take care. Thank you.